Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about 15 stocks, 15 different stocks that could possibly be a great play for you or a great investment for you in reference to blockchain and cryptocurrency. Now, listen, I'm not going to do any extensive conversation around them. Make sure you do your own research before you choose to invest, or if you choose to invest. I'm not a financial advisor, but please do your own research and check these out. I'm going to give you a list, and I'm going to give you some that you may not have thought of, or you may not have necessarily even known that was working with cryptocurrency, or just kind of give you some of the thoughts around it, so that way that you can see some of the different ways that you can actually be exposed to cryptocurrency knowingly as well as unknowingly. All right, so let's start with the first one. So the first one is going to be Coinbase. Yes, Coinbase. Well, Joe, Coinbase isn't a stock. Well, don't know if you guys saw the video I did several weeks ago, but Coinbase is looking to do their IPO. Well, Coinbase is actually their valuation is actually around $100 billion right now. Now that's crazy. Now, but I can understand with all the excitement that is in cryptocurrency. So basically Coinbase is being looked at as $100 billion valuation right now. So that's huge. So now if you really enjoy crypto, you love crypto, if you use Coinbase already, things like this, now this goes public. This is probably a good investment that would give you a ton of exposure in crypto, being that it is a cryptocurrency company. That's how you buy and sell cryptos. One of the leading places that people buy and sell cryptos. So that's your first one, and that's Coinbase. All right, so let's get into some other stocks. Some of these you know already, and some you don't. So the first one we're gonna get into is Marathon. All right, Marathon. This is one. A lot of these do a lot of Bitcoin mining. A lot of these companies, they actually create software and they're exposed like that to the blockchain and cryptocurrency. So you'll see that as you research a lot of these. But yes, the first one is Marathon, and you can see Marathon has had a nice run. So this is their 5-year track. So you can kind of see that valley right there. And the reason for that is because during this period of time, listen, people, they really don't and haven't really been believing in Bitcoin like that. And back here, most people didn't even know about Riot existing and stuff like that. So what's happening is people becoming more popular, or cryptocurrencies become more popular, and people are starting to really look into this stuff, and the stock market has been hot with it. Now, one of the things you're going to notice with a lot of these stocks, they're directly connected, like Marathon, for example. You're going to notice that they actually have a pretty big dip, right? And that dip is something that you guys want to also pay attention and be mindful of. Is what that dip is, what's happening is because it's kind of going alongside with what happens with Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in general. So like if Bitcoin is running up high, a lot of cryptocurrencies are kind of going up as well. So when Bitcoin is going down, or it falls a little bit, to which it has fallen a little bit, then you're going to see that dip off in several of these stocks that are directly connected, in particular like Marathon. So there you have Marathon. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is almost like you talk about Marathon, you got to talk about this one, and that is Riot. Now, Riot had a significant dip as well, as you see. And so it's another one. Now, they fell off pretty heavy. So now when you're investing in these, you're not really going to get much difference of the way things flow along with Bitcoin. So is it risky? Let's see, on a scale of 1 to 10, is it risky to invest in companies like this? I would say it's about a 5. Why? Because I think we understand that cryptocurrency will be around. I think the problem a lot of people are having is that it just moves so aggressively. But just like with any stock, any crazy high dollar stock that's like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or like Warren Buffett's company, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars per share, you're going to see the higher and the more those companies grow, the swings up and down are a lot higher. So at $50-ish thousand, wherever Bitcoin is right now, like you're going to see that. You're going to see it bounce up and down like that. And you're going to see that volatility, which is just, wild swinging ups and downs and curves and all that good stuff. So Riot is the third stock that we get into. All right, so let's go and let's talk about another one, or show you another one. The next one is actually right down here. Just gonna click on that, and that is Canon, or Canaan. Canaan, right? So Canaan, this is another one to look into, and as I stated before, you'll see some of the same, movement and the relationship where yes, they were up and they dropped off. And like I said, if you were to look at, let's just look at Bitcoin real quick, so you can just kind of see it on screen, and you can see that Bitcoin had been coming down. So see right here how Bitcoin has came down. Look, just like the same chart, right? Just like the same chart you just saw with the stocks, right? Yep, that's just how it's kind of tied together at the moment. Now we'll show you guys some stocks that aren't necessarily tied to it like that, but you get a lot of exposure, or will get a lot of exposure into Bitcoin. But let's get right back on it. So we just went through Canaan. All right, the next one is Hive. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this or if you know about Hive. If you're in the crypto space, then you probably have. But Hive, relatively short, not expensive stock, still very low, $3.88. This is over the counter, so you would need a brokerage to get this over the counter if you were interested. So you have Hive. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is SOS Limited. I think it's got a little bit of steam online where people have been talking about it. So up in the pre-market, like most of them at the moment, because yesterday was kind of like just kind of like several days of just things going down, so things are going up, kind of recovering and things like that. So, but yeah, SOS Limited, not expensive, but yes, these have had a run up, and a lot of people aren't really privy to paying attention to these companies back when they're at their lowest. So sometimes you can catch these, in different forums, YouTubes and just different places like that. But yep, SOS Limited. All right, so now I'm going to transition from these ones that are directly connected to the blockchain, directly connected to like the movement of crypto, Bitcoin, and all these other ones. So now I'm going to transition to some that aren't as directly connected, but you may not have thought of. So let's go to the first one, Visa. All right, so Visa. I'm going to go through this list, then I'm going to talk about it. The next one, PayPal, and I think you'll start to get the gist of what I'm saying. All right, the next one, Square. Okay. All right. The next one, MasterCard. Okay, MasterCard, $350 a share. The next one, Apple. Oh, probably didn't see that one coming. All right, so let me explain to you guys why I just listed these five. Now I have a sixth one, but I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Now, the reason I just listed these is obvious reasons. Well, you may see the obvious when you're looking at Visa, PayPal, Square, MasterCard. Here's the thing. When you see cryptocurrency start to evolve more and start to grow more, as you're seeing it happening, you're going to see those things get incorporated. If you want, you can Google and you can search all of those companies that I listed, and you will see that they are trying to integrate payment as such, things like that, being able to use cryptocurrency at banks, being able to, swipe your card for, paying for something in 0.01, 0.02 of Bitcoin to pay for something. They're trying to work, and they're working on these processes to try to make sure that it's something that people can indeed use in order to be able to like just use it as a currency, which means like one of the videos I talked about, how will the price adjustment so that when you're buying stuff, so let's say for example, like if something is let's say for example something is $10. Well, what is $10 equal in Bitcoin? What is $10 equal in Ethereum? What is $10 equal in Dogecoin? What is $10 equal in Ripple? What is $10 equal in Ox? Like you're gonna see those different transformations and changes. Well, these companies like your Visas, like your MasterCards, like your PayPal's, like your Squares. Like you're going to, in Apple, because Apple has Apple Pay, right? So a lot of people are using that more and more and more. So what you're going to see is they're going to start to transition more and more into it, and some of them are already involved in cryptocurrency and things like that, especially like PayPal, like they're already involved, as well as like even Square, and you might and even through some of their platforms, like for example Cash App, which is owned by Square. Cash App, you can actually trade Bitcoin on their platform on Cash App, right? So these platforms will have to transition the way that people are able to make transactions and purchase things. And the reason why I'm saying them in particular, because they're some of the largest companies that do this, right? On every debit card, you're going to see what? Visa or MasterCard. So they're going to have to do that, or they're going to, and Visa's already working on it. Like you can really search this stuff out and see it. So they're going to have to do that. So that's what gives them a lot of exposure to cryptocurrency. However, the great thing is that it's not connected directly to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin can do whatever it wants to do. Crypto can do whatever it wants to do. Guess what? These companies are still solid. They're not just solid, but they're good long-term companies. And yes, I know everybody can't maybe buy a share of this, but if you're buying something fractionally, or you have like an M1 finance portfolio, hey, you can pop some of these in there. I think I actually have all of them in my portfolio in M1 finance, or 4 or 5 of them. But like literally, you still get dividends. So it's still is not connected to the volatility, but is very still connected to cryptocurrencies. All right. So now here's another one that you probably haven't thought about. And this one kind of have to watch around it. And it's called MoneyGram. Y'all know what MoneyGram is, right? MoneyGram, when you go to the store and you send a MoneyGram to somebody, right? So that way that they can get some money. Well, one of the things that MoneyGram has been doing is that they have been trying to dive more and more into the cryptocurrency space. For example, they have a partnership with XRP. Now, that partnership is a little bit shaky, so that's why I say you're going to have to watch it. But with this, they are trying to allow people to send, different things, and mobile wallets, all these different things that they're trying to integrate into cryptocurrency. Basically, they're trying to reinvent themselves. So this might just be another one to put on your watch list. All right. So now let's go to another one. If we're talking about stocks, then there got to be some ETFs, right? Got to be some funds around it, right? Absolutely. So let's go to it. Now, and the funny thing is, these ones have ran up significantly. They're not as expensive as you probably would think, like as you can see. So the first one is Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. This one, a lot of people, I guess, won't say a lot of people, but people have started to kind of talk about or whatever. And this is Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. All right. So here you go. You can see it came up significantly in the last year. I mean, in the last 6 months, because people have started to discover, because everybody's starting to look and things like that. One of the things you'll see down here is not on my list, but you see down here, they have a Grayscale Ethereum Trust, right? So this is exposure to Ethereum. But here, this is just purely exposure to Bitcoin. That's how they have it separated. So if you like Ethereum, this might be one that you can look into also and do some research around. All right, you can see this kind of a little bit more up and down, because Ethereum is just a little bit or a whole lot different than Bitcoin. And you can see that Grayscale actually has it for just about any of them. Litecoin down there. But yeah, Grayscale Bitcoin. All right, so let's look at another one. Ticker symbol BLCN. Whoop. Now this one also has some exposure to crypto. Now you can look right here. It's already listed in blockchain ETF, but like a top blockchain ETF or whatnot. So this is another one that has a lot of exposure to cryptocurrency. So you can take a look at that one. Also put that on your list. Do some research around. You can see no difference. And one of the good things about it is I like when I see dividends, y'all. Like I love dividends. That they're gonna have to be a little more consistent, Like that was last year. What's up, guys? Where's the dividend? Hey, we don't like lazy money on this channel. We like our money to work. Like we like our money to put in work. Can't just be in this house and be lazy. All right, the next one or last one for the ETF / trust ETF, because I know Grayscale was a trust, is Amplify. So here you go again. You have Amplify. Now, like I said, it has a yield, which means it has a dividend. Now you can check that out, and you can see here. So it's been doing, fairly well, just like anything exposed to cryptos. I just need them to get a little bit, maybe put in a few more dividends, in that I know they're working. They probably haven't had this much people running and putting money into them. That's why. But like, y'all work on these dividends, guys. Share a little bit more of that money, because I know y'all getting it. But yeah, that's the third one. All right, so now that is just 15 different stocks with ticker symbols you can go through, you can look, and you can research. Now, yes, there are several more that I did not cover. I mean, you can just look at, if me just putting in one of them, you can even just look on the side and see others that pop up that we have not even talked about. Well, that's just kind of like more so for popular stuff, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you'll just see other ones pop up. But like, literally, there are so many different ones out there. So no, I did not name them all, but as well, feel free to list what you think is your favorite one, or you have one that you're watching, or maybe there's some that you've invested in that, you think is going to do good, or you maybe caught some of the run up. Feel free to list those below in the comments, guys. All right. So don't forget to like, subscribe, stick around, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy investing. Peace. Love you guys.